Good morning, children. Welcome back. Children, in our previous sessions, we have discussed the terrestrial habitat and aquatic habitat. In terrestrial habitat, we discussed living organisms in deserts, mountain regions, and grasslands. And in aquatic habitat, we discussed oceans and ponds. Now, children, today we will be discussing characteristics of the living things or characteristic of the living beings. Now children, from class 3 or 4 you have been studying like difference between living things and non-living things. Now children, how do we differentiate between living things and non-living things? Suppose if I say that living things move, okay, so we know that a human beings and animals move, but plants don't move, but still they are living. Then cars and buses, they move, but they are not living. If we come to another characteristics that we have learned earlier, that living things grow in size. Okay, fine. Plants and animals, they grow in size. Even the humans grow. But even sometimes clouds, they grow in size. Then will we say that the clouds are living things? No. Then how will we differentiate, children? How will we differentiate between living things and non-living things? There has to be certain common characteristics which are present in living things and absent in non-living things. Isn't it? So that we are going to discuss today. Now human being is a wonderful example of a living being, living thing. So then taking a human being into account and others also, we will take plants and animals, that is living things. We will discuss certain characteristics of living beings. The first one is, children, all living things need food. Now children, in chapter 1 and 2 we have discussed that all living things including animals as well as human beings, we need food for our survival. We need food for obtaining energy. And why do we need energy? We need energy to do our various life processes. Now animals get food from smaller animals as well as plants. Plants can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. So all living organisms, that is plants, animals and we human beings, require food for our survival. One day if we keep fast, children, you must have seen your parents or any elderly people in your house, how they say, yesterday I was fasting, so today I am feeling like I have no energy. So this is the food that provides us energy for our various life processes. So I hope, children, the first characteristic is clear to you, that all living things need food. Now we come to all living things show growth. Yes, children, you were not born as 13-year or 14-year child. You were born as a baby. Okay. Your parents fed you. So you turned into, now you are in your teens. Now after that you will grow into your adulthood. So this is the characteristic feature of a living thing, that all living things grow. This is for human beings. Now we come to animals also, children. You must have seen a puppy grows into a dog. Okay. The egg which is hatched becomes a chicken, and again that chicken forms a cock or a hen. So similar is with cat. Okay. So animals also, they grow. Similar is with plants. The trees that we see around us were not so big from the beginning. Okay. You must have seen in your gardens how the gardener tells you ki, madam, please bring some saplings. Those saplings, when you water them and provide urea to them, everything, then they grow. So thus we find that all living things show growth. We have discussed human beings, we have discussed plants as well as animals. I hope, children, this is clear to you. Now we come to the third characteristics, that is living things respond to stimuli. Now children, if I pour hot milk on you, immediately you will remove your hand, isn't it? If your hand touches by mistake to a hot iron, immediately nobody tells you to remove your hand. Immediately, automatically your hand is removed. If you are walking barefoot and one thorn goes into your feet, immediately you say, ouch, what happened? Isn't it? That these all are coming spontaneous reactions on their own. So similar is, so what is the, and when you from a dark room, you come to bright sunlight, your eyes shut automatically. So moving from dark room to bright room, the thorn, all these are changes that are taking place in your surrounding. So when we react, our reaction towards the changes in the surrounding is called as response to stimuli. Again I am repeating children, all the changes in the reaction when they take place and our reaction or our response to those changes in the surrounding is called as stimuli. So all living things respond to stimuli. I have given you examples for humans. Now we will come to animals. Suppose dog. If you serve bones to him, how he wags his tail and he shows some reaction. Isn't it? If you serve milk to cat, she also will come running. Isn't it? So animals also shows response to stimuli in some way or the other. Wild animals, they move away from flashlights. Then birds, if you go towards them, they fly off. So these are the response to stimuli shown by animals. Each animal shows it in a different manner. Then we come to plants. How do they show response to stimuli? You must have seen that touch me not plant or mimosa plant. If you touch the leaves fold. Then there are certain plants which only bloom during the daytime. That is sunflower also, it always moves towards the sunlight. So these are the response to stimuli shown by plants. So here we have discussed the three characteristics of living things. Today children we will discuss one more, and there are other characteristics also that we will be discussing in our next class. And the last characteristic that we are going to discuss today is living things respire. Now children, there is difference between respiration and breathing. Breathing is a part of the process respiration. Okay? Breathing and respiration is not same. Breathing is part of the process respiration. When we inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide, that process is called as breathing. I hope children you have understood the difference between breathing and respiration. And this process of respiration is essential for all living organisms to survive. This is the case with human beings. Now children, like cats and dogs, they respire the same way as humans. But for example, earthworm, it respires through skin. We have studied fishes. How do they respire? Through gills. They absorb the dissolved oxygen from water. The gills help to absorb the dissolved oxygen from water, and in that way they respire. And how do the plants respire, children? I think in class 5th or last year only, in lesson number 2 you have studied, when we were studying photosynthesis. In lesson 2 we studied that plants respire through the presence of small pores or tiny pores on their leaves. Now children, again there is difference between respiration and photosynthesis. Okay, during respiration plants take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide, and during photosynthesis what do the plants do? The leaves absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and prepare food for the plant. So there is difference between photosynthesis and respiration. Respiration in plants take place during the day also and during night also. Whereas photosynthesis is a process which takes place only during the daytime. I hope children these 4 characteristic features of the living things is clear to you. Firstly, living things need food. All living things show growth. All living things respond to stimuli and all living things respire. In our next video children, we will be discussing more characteristic features of living things. Till then, thank you and God bless.